네, 안녕하십니까. 영어 쉐도잉 연습 128일차 시작을 해보겠습니다. 네, 먼저 첫 번째 할 영상은 아놀드 슈왈제네거 영상부터 해보겠습니다. 여기네. 네,
I'm here to talk about success.
I'm here to talk about success.
Work your ass off.
Work your ass off.
I hate
Plan B.
Plan B. Don't listen to the naysayers.
Don't listen to the naysayers.
Everything I ever did.
Everything I ever did.
The thing that
The thing that I hear out of
was,
his
that's
mouth was
impossible.
that's impossible. The thing that I heard out of people's mouths was that's impossible.
That can't be done.
That can't be done.
Or no.
Or no.
And I didn't listen to those losers.
I didn't listen to those losers.
I didn't listen to them at all.
I didn't listen to them at all.
I would have listened to the naysayers.
If I would have listened to the naysayers,
From bodybuilding to
if I would have listened to the naysayers from bodybuilding
show business
to charging business and to politics,
I would not be standing here
I would
today.
not be standing here
Talking
today
to you.
talking to you.
I will be in Austria in the
I'll
Alps
be in
yodeling.
Austria in the office yodeling.
So when someone says no,
When
this is a
someone says
stupid
no,
idea,
this is a stupid
in
idea,
your mind, you don't have to say it, but
you in your mind you don't have to
just
say it, but your
"Fuck
mind
you,
just say
you're an
this.
asshole."
Fuck you, you're an
What do you
asshole.
know?
What do you know?
With the age of
With
20,
the age of 20 in London, I went to.
Mr. Universe
With the age of 20, I went to London and won the Mr. Universe contest
as the youngest
as the youngest
Mr. Universe
Mr. Universe ever.
And
As the youngest Mr. Universe ever.
it was because
It was
I had a
because
goal.
I had a goal.
You see,
You see, if you don't have a vision of where you're going, if you don't have a going,
you drift around
if you don't have a goal of where you're going, where you go, you drift around
and you never end up anywhere.
and you never end up anywhere. You got to have a purpose to what you do in
You
life.
got to have a purpose.
You got to have a
vision.
purpose, have a vision. No matter what you do in life, you got to have a purpose. Work your ass off.
There is no magic
There
pill.
is no magic pill.
Muhammad Ali
Muhammad Ali
worked his butt off,
worked his butt off,
and I saw it firsthand.
and I saw it
I
firsthand.
remember that there was a sports writer
And I remember that it was a sports writer
that was there in the gym.
that was
He
there in the
working
gym.
out,
He was working
sit-ups.
out and he was doing
I asked him,
sit-ups.
"How many sit-ups do
And
you
he
do?"
asked him, how many sit-ups do you do?
He said,
And he said,
I don't start
counting until it hurts.
But think about
But
it.
think about
He
it.
doesn't start counting
He
his
doesn't start
sit-ups
counting his sit-ups
until he feels pain.
until he feels
That's
pain.
when he starts counting.
That's when he starts counting.
That is working hard.
That is working
I
hard.
went to college.
I went to college.
I went and worked
I
out
worked
5 hours
out 5 hours
a day.
a day,
And I was working
and I was working in
in construction.
construction.
Because in those days
in bodybuilding there was no money.
I didn't have the money for
I
food
didn't-
supplements or anything.
Didn't have the money for food supplements or anything. Didn't have the money for food supplements or anything.
So I had to go to work.
So I had to go to work.
So I worked in construction.
So worked in construction. I went to college, worked out in the gym, and at night
8
from
o'clock at night to 12 midnight.
and night from 8 o'clock, and night to 12, and night to 12 midnight to 12 to 12 to 12, and night to 12 midnight.
I went to acting class.
I went to acting class
4 times a week.
4 times a week.
Yes, I did all
Yes,
that.
yes, I did all
There was
that.
not one single
There wasn't
minute
one
that I
single
wasted.
minute that I wasted.
And this is why I'm standing here
This is
today.
why I'm standing here today.
And it drives me crazy when
It
people
drives
say
me-
they don't have enough time. And it drives me crazy when people say they don't have enough time.
And it drives me crazy when people say they don't have enough time
To go to
to
the
go
gym
to the gym
for 45 minutes a day and work out.
for 45 minutes for 45 minutes a day and work out. It drives me crazy when people say they don't have enough time to go to the gym for 45 minutes a day and work out,
Or to do
or to do something for 45
45
minutes to an hour a day to
If it
improve.
is physically
If
improved,
it is
or
physically
if it is
improved,
mentally
or
improved.
if it is mentally improved.
Imagine you read 1 hour a day
Imagine you read 1 hour a day
about history.
about history.
How much you would
How much you
learn
will
after
run
365
after
hours.
60 after 365 65 hours a day, 65 hours
In 1 year.
in 1 year. How much you will learn after 365 hours in 1 year
With 24 hours
with
a day,
24 hours a day.
we sleep
We
6
sleep
hours a day,
hours. Sleep, we sleep 6 hours a day,
gives you still 18 hours.
so it gives you still 18 hours.
There's someone shaking their head out here in front to say probably.
There's someone shaking head out here in front to say probably. There's someone shaking head out here in front to say probably.
I don't sleep 6
I don't
hours, I
sleep.
sleep 8 hours,
I
right?
don't sleep 6 hours. I sleep 8 hours, right?
Or just sleep faster.
Or just sleep faster.
But you can see how much time
But
there's
you can
available.
see, but you can see how much the time is available.
If you
If
organize
you
your
organize
day.
your day, but you can see how much time is available if you organize your day.
So you got to work
So you got to
hard.
work hard.
You get it?
You get it?
Work like hell.
Work like
Go to
hell.
bed.
Go to bed.
Early to rise.
Early to
Work like hell
rise.
and advertise.
Work like
So you
work like hell and advertise. So you
work your
so you
ass
work
off,
like
and then you
work your ass off, and then you
let the world
let the
know
world
about your work.
know about your work.
That's what it is all about.
That's what it's all
Let
about.
people know if you have a company,
Let people know if you have a company,
if you have a movie,
if you have a movie,
if you do sports,
if you do sports, work your ass off and
and
advertise
everyone know.
and let everyone know.
We have so many of
You have
those
so
people
many
that say
you
no,
have so many of those people that say
and
no,
you
you
can't
can't do it. That's impossible.
That is okay
That
because
is
we just turn
okay.
off.
That is okay because we just turn off.
You start doubting
When you
yourself.
start doubting yourself,
That's very
that's
dangerous.
very dangerous.
Because now what you're
Because now what you are basically saying is that
that if my
if
plan
my
doesn't work,
plan doesn't work,
I have a
I have
fallback
fallback plan. I have a plan B.
That
That
means
means
that you start thinking about plan B
that
and
means
every
you start thinking about plan B,
thought that you put
and
into plan
that
B,
and the thought that and the thought that
is that you start thinking about plan
plan
B
B
and every thought that you put into plan B,
and every thought that you put into plan B,
you're taking away now that thought
every thought that you put into plan B, you're thinking about the plan B, and every thought that you put into plan B, and you're taking away and you're taking away now
that energy from
that
plan
thought
A.
and the energy from plan A.
It's very
It's
important
very important
to
to
understand
understand that
we
we
function
function better
better if there is no
safety net.
because plan B becomes a safety
Because
net.
plan
It says
B becomes
that
safety
if I
net.
fail,
It says if I fail,
then I
then I
fall,
fall,
and I get picked up,
and I have
something
something there,
else there that will protect me.
something, and I have something there that will protect me,
Get picked up, and I have something else there
and I have something else there,
that will
there
protect me.
that will protect
And
me.
that's not good.
That's not good.
I'm telling you,
I'm telling you,
I've never ever had a plan B.
I'm telling you, I've never ever had plan B.
I said I made a full commitment that I'm gonna go and be a bodybuilding
I said I made a full commitment that I'm gonna go and be a bodybuilding champion.
champion.
I made a full commitment that I'm gonna
be in
go.
America.
I'm gonna be in America. I made a full commitment that I'm gonna be in America.
I made a full commitment that I'm gonna get into show business.
I made a full commitment that I'm gonna be into, that I'm gonna gain it, that I'm gonna get into show business. I made a full commitment that I'm gonna get into show business,
And I'm going to be a leading man.
and I'm going to be a leader
I
man.
will
No
do the
matter
work.
what it takes, I will do the work.
I will do the
I
work.
will do the work over and over and over
until I get it.
until I get it.
To me,
To me, it is very dangerous to have a plan B because you're cutting yourself off
really succeeding.
from chance off
from the chance
from
of
the
really
chance
succeeding.
really
And
succeeding.
one of the
The
main
reason,
reasons why
the
people
reason, the reason, one of the main reasons why people want to have a
want to
plan
have
B
a plan B is
is
because they are
because
worried about failing.
because
To have a plan B is because they are worried about failing.
because they are worried about failing.
What is if I fail,
What
then I
is if
don't
I
have
fail? Then I
anything
don't have
else?
anything else.
Well, let me tell you something. Don't
Well,
be
let me tell
afraid
you
of
something.
failing
Don't be afraid of
because
failing.
there's nothing wrong with failing. Don't be afraid of
Of failing.
failing because there's nothing wrong with failing.
Because there is nothing wrong with failing.
You have to fail
You
in
have
order
to
to climb the
fail
ladder.
in order to climb the
There's
ladder.
no one
There is
that
no
doesn't
one
fail.
who doesn't fail.
We all fail.
We all fail.
It's okay.
It's okay.
What is not okay is
What is not okay is
when you fail, you stay down.
when you fail and you stay down.
Whoever
Whoever stays down
is
is
a
a
loser.
loser.
And
And winners
fail
will
and get
fail
up.
and get up.
Fail
Fail
and
and
get
get
up.
up.
Fail and
Fail
get
and
up.
get up.
Always get
You
up.
always get up. That is
a winner.
a winner.
That is a winner.
That is a winner.
I failed in
I
bodybuilding.
failed in
I
bodybuilding.
lost
I
bodybuilding
lost the
competitions.
bodybuilding competitions. I lost the powerlifting competitions. I lost the weightlifting competitions. I had movies that went into toilet that were terrible. They got the worst reviews.
Hey,
Hey,
we
we all
all lose.
lose.
We all have losses. This is
We
okay.
all have
This is why I say
loses.
don't
This is okay.
be
This
worried
is
about
why I.
losing because when you this is okay. This is why I say don't
This is why I say. This is why I say, don't
be
be
worried
worried
about
about
losing
fail.
because when you're afraid of losing, then you get frozen. Be worried about losing because when you're afraid
Don't be worried about lose
of losing, then you get frozen.
because
Be worried about losing because when you're afraid of losing, then you get
because when you're afraid of losing,
frozen.
you get frozen.
You get
Because when you're afraid of losing, you get frozen.
stiff. You're not
You get
relaxed.
stiff. You are not
In
relaxed.
order to perform well
In order to perform, in order to perform well in anything,
boxing,
if it is in boxing or if it is in your job or with your thinking, it's only happening when you relax. So relax.
It's okay to
It's okay to fail.
Let's just go all out and give it everything that you got. That's what it is all about.
Let's
Let's just go all out.
let's just go all out. Let's just go all out and give everything we've got.
It's all about.
That's what it's all about. So don't be afraid of fail. 네. 네, 오늘 잘 들었습니다. 네, 첫 번째 영상 좀 더 신나게, 좀 더 정확하지 않은 부분을 좀 더 여러 번 반복하면서 들어봤고요. 자, 그러면 두 번째 영상 한번 해보겠습니다. 두 번째 영상은요. 오바마 영상. 저는 이제 자막을 이제 보고요. 자막을 보고 한번 해보겠습니다.
언제까지
광고가 나오네.
방법을 모르는 거예요. But at the end of the day,
But at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, end of the day, end of the day, but at the end of the day, the circumstances of your life, what you look like, where you come from, how much money you have, but at the end of the day, the circumstances of your life, how
the circumstances of your life,
the circumstances of circumstances of your life,
what you look like,
what you look like, what you look like, what you look like,
where you come from, how much
where you come from,
money you have,
how much money you have,
what you've got going on at home,
what you have got going on at home, what you got going on at home, on and on, what you got going on at home. But at the end of the day, the circumstances of your life, what you look like,
what you look like,
where you come from, how much money you have,
money you have, what you've got going on at home.
what you got, what you got going on at home.
None of that is an excuse. There is
None of that is an excuse. None of that is an excuse.
no excuse
There is no excuse
for not trying.
for not trying. But at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, the circumstances of your life, what you look like, um, what you look like, where you come from, how much money you have,
What you've got
what you got going on at home,
going on at home. None of that is
none of that is an excuse.
an excuse. There is
None of that is a none of that is an excuse. There is no excuse for not trying.
no excuse.
No excuse for not trying. But at the end of the day, the circumstances of your life, what you look like, where you come from, how much money you have, what you've got going on at home, there is none of that is an excuse. There is no excuse for not trying. 네, 그렇습니다.
I've given a lot of speeches about
education. I've talked about responsibility a lot. I've talked about teachers' responsibility for inspiring students
pushing you to learn.
and pushing you to learn. I've talked about your parents' responsibility for making sure you stay on track and you get your homework done and don't spend every waking hour in front of
TV or
the TV or with the Xbox. I've talked a lot about the government's responsibility for setting high standards and supporting teachers and principals and turning around schools that are working, where students are getting the opportunities that they
But at the
deserve.
end of the day,
The
schools that aren't working, where students aren't getting the opportunities that they deserve.
opportunities that they deserve. Opportunities that they deserve. Opportunities that they deserve. Where students are getting the opportunities that they deserve. Where students are getting the opportunities that they deserve. Where students aren't getting the opportunities that they deserve. Where students are getting the opportunities that they deserve.
But at the end of the day,
But at the end of
we
the
can
day,
have the most
we
dedicated
can have the
teachers,
most dedicated teachers,
most supportive
the
parents,
most the most supportive parents, the best schools in the world,
and none of it
will
make a
make a
difference.
difference.
None of it will matter
None of it will matter. None of it will matter
unless all of you fulfill
your
your
responsibilities.
Unless you show up to those schools.
Unless you show up to those schools.
Unless you
Unless you pay attention to those teachers. Unless you listen to your parents and grandparents
parents and other adults
and other others and put in the hard work it
to
takes to
succeed.
succeed.
That's what I want to focus on today.
That's what I wanna focus on today. That's what I wanna focus on today. The responsibility each of you has for your education. I wanna start with the responsibility you have to yourself. Every single one of you has something that you're good. Every single one of you has something to offer.
You have a responsibility to yourself
You have your responsibility to yourself
to discover what that is.
to discover what
That's
that
the
is.
opportunity an education can provide.
That's the opportunity an education can provide.
Maybe you could be
Maybe you could be a great writer.
maybe even good enough to write a book.
Maybe you're even good enough to write a book or
Articles
articles
in a newspaper,
in
but
newspaper,
you
but you might not know it. Maybe you could be an innovator, an inventor. Maybe even good enough to come up
with the next iPhone or
with the
new
next
medicine
iPhone or
vaccine.
the new medicine or vaccine.
Might not know it
But you might not know it
until you do your project for
until
your
you do a
science class.
project for your
Maybe
science
you could
project.
be a
Maybe you
mayor
could be a mayor
or
or
a senator
a senator or a Supreme Court
But you
justice.
might not know that
But you
until
might not
join
know that
student
until
government
you join student government
or the debate team.
or
No
the
matter
debate
what
team.
you want to do with your life,
And no matter what you want to do with your life, I guarantee
that you'll need
I
an education
guarantee
to do it.
that you'll need an education to do it.
You want to be a doctor,
You want to be
or
a doctor,
or
a teacher, or
police
police
officer. You want to be
officer.
a nurse or an architect,
You want to be a nurse or an architect,
a lawyer,
a lawyer,
member of our military.
or a member of our military.
You're going
You're
a
gonna
good
need a
education
good
for every
education for
single one of
every
those
single one of
careers.
those
You
careers.
cannot
You
drop out of
cannot
school
you
and
cannot drop out of school
just drop into a good job.
and just drop
You've
into
got
a
to
good
train
job.
for it,
You got to train for it, you got to train for it, you got to train for it,
work for it,
and work for it,
and learn for
and
it.
run for it.
And this isn't just
And
important for your own
and this isn't just important for your own life,
life and your own future.
your own life and your own future. And this is just important for your own life and your own future.
What you make of your education will
When you make of your education will decide nothing less than the future of this country. The future of America
depends on you.
depends on you.
What you're learning in school today will determine
What you are learning in school,
the future of America depends on you. What you're learning in school today will
what you are learning in school today will determine
determine
whether we as a nation can meet our greatest challenges in the
You'll need
future.
the knowledge and
You need the knowledge and
problem-solving
problem-solving skills to learn in science and math, to cure diseases like cancer and AIDS, and to develop new energy technologies and protect our environment.
You'll need the insights and critical thinking
You'll need the insights and critical thinking skills
you gain
you
in
gain in
history
history and social studies to fight poverty and homelessness, crime and discrimination, and make our nation more fair and more free.
You'll need the creativity and ingenuity
You'll need the creativity and the ingenuity
you develop in all your classes
you develop in all your classes
to build
classes
new
to build
companies.
classes to build new companies
Create new jobs.
that will
and
create
boost
new
our
jobs and boost our
economy. We need
economy.
every single one of you to develop your
We need every single one of you to develop your
talents
and your skills and your intellect,
so you can
so you can
help us
so you can
all folks solve
our focus
our most
our
difficult
folks solve
problems. If you don't know,
our most difficult problems.
help us old folks solve our most difficult problem.
Our most difficult problem. Difficult. Our most difficult problems.
If you don't do that,
If you don't do
if
that,
you quit on school,
if you
you're
quit
not
on
just
school,
quitting on yourself, you're quitting
you're,
on your country.
you're not just quitting on yourself, you're quitting on your country.
I know it's not always easy to
I know it's not always easy
do well in school.
to do well in
I know
school.
a lot of you have challenges
I know a lot of you have challenges
in your lives right
in
now.
your lives
that can make
right
it
now.
hard to focus
They can make you hard to focus on
on your schoolwork.
your
I
schoolwork.
get it.
I
I know
get
what
it.
it's like.
I know what it's like.
My father
My
left
father and my family when I was 2 years old.
I was raised by a single
I was raised by a single mom who had to
struggled
work and who
at
struggled at times to pay the bills and wasn't always able to give us
the things that other
the
kids
things that other
There were
kids had.
times when I missed
There were times when I missed having a father in my life. There were times when I was lonely and I felt like I didn't fit it. So I wasn't always as focused as I should have been at school. I did some things I did some things I'm not proud of.
in more trouble than I should
A- And I got in more trouble than I should have.
have. And
In my life,
easily taken.
could have easily taken a time for the worst.
I was lucky.
But I was
I got a lot of
lucky.
second chances.
I got a lot of
I had
second
the
chances.
opportunity to go to college
And I had the opportunity to go to college
law school,
and law
follow
school
my dreams.
and follow my
My
dreams.
wife,
My
our
wife,
first lady, Michelle Obama,
our first lady, Michelle Obama,
she has a similar story.
she has a similar story.
Neither of her parents had
Neither of her parents
gone to college.
had gone to
And they
college,
didn't have a lot of money.
and they didn't have a lot of money,
But they worked hard.
but
and
they
she
worked hard and she
so that
worked hard
could go to the best schools
so that she could go to the best schools
in this country.
in this country.
Some of you might not have those
Some of you might not have those advantages.
advantages. Maybe you don't have
Maybe you don't have
adults in your life
adults in your life
who give you the support
who
that you
give you the support that
Maybe
you
someone
need.
in your family has
Maybe someone in your family
lost their job.
has
There's
lost
not
their
enough
job.
money to go around.
and there's not enough money to go around.
Maybe you live in a neighborhood
Maybe you live in a neighborhood
where you don't feel safe.
where you don't feel safe
Have friends who
or
are
have friends
pressuring you to do
who are
things
pressuring you to do things, who are pressuring you to do things
you know aren't right.
you know
But
are
at the
right.
end of the day,
But at the end of the day,
the
the circumstances of your life, what you look like, where you come from, how much money you have, what you've got going on at home, none of that is an excuse for neglecting your homework or having a bad attitude in school.
That's no excuse
That's no
for
excuse for talking back to your teacher,
or
or cutting class, or dropping out of school.
There
There is no excuse
for
for not trying.
Where
Where you are right now doesn't have
determine where you'll end.
to determine where you will end up.
을 바꾸실 줄 아시잖아요. 우리 홈에 들어가면 여기서 글꼴을
up. No one's written your destiny
No one's written your destiny for you.
Because here in America,
Because here in
you write
America,
your own destiny.
you write your own destiny.
You make your own future.
You make
That's
your
what
own
young
future.
people like you
That's what young people like you
are doing
every
every
day
day
all across America.
Young people like
Jasmine Perez from Roma, Texas. Jasmine didn't speak English
when she
when she first started school.
her parents had gone to
Neither
college.
her parents
She
had gone
worked
to
hard,
college,
earned good grades,
but she worked hard on good grades
and got a scholarship to
and got a scholarship to
Brown
Brown
University.
University.
Is
Now in graduate school, studying public health, on her way to becoming Dr. Jasmine Perez. I'm thinking about Andoni Schultz
Los Altos, California,
from Los Altos, California,
who's fought brain cancer
since he was
He's
three.
had to endure all sorts of
He's
treatments,
had to endure all sorts of treatments and surgeries,
one of
which
which
affected his memory.
So it took him much longer,
hundreds of extra hours to do his
but he never
school.
fell behind.
But he never fell behind. But he never fell behind.
He's headed to
He's
college.
headed to college this fall.
And
And then there's
Sean
Chantel Steve from my hometown of Chicago, Chicago, Illinois. Even when bouncing from foster home to foster home in the toughest neighborhoods in the city, she managed to get a job at a local health care center, start a program to keep young people out of gangs, and she's on track to graduate high school with honors and go on to college. And Justin and Donnie and Chantel aren't any different from any other. They face challenges in their lives just like you do.
In some cases,
They've got it a lot worse off
than
than
many
many
of
of
you.
you. But they refuse to give up. They chose to take responsibility for their lives, for their education, and set goals for themselves. And I expect all of you to do the same. That's why today I'm calling on each of you to set your own goals through your education and everything you can to make them. But whatever you resolve to do, whatever you resolve to do, resolve to do, whatever you resolve to do, resolve to, resolve to, resolve. 결심하다. Resolve to do. Whatever you resolve to do, 무엇을 결심하기로 했든, I want you to commit to it. Commit to it. I want you to really, I want you to really work at it. I want you to really work at it. I know that sometimes you get the sense from TV. You get the sense from TV. I know that sometimes you get the sense from TV that you can be rich and successful without any hard work. That your ticket to success is through rapping or basketball or being a reality TV star. Chances are you are not gonna be any of those things. The truth is, being successful is hard. You won't love every subject in your study. You won't click with every teacher that you have. Not every homework assignment will seem completely relevant to your life right at this minute. And you won't necessarily succeed at everything the first time you try. That's okay. Some of the most successful people in the world are the ones who have had the most failures. J.K. Rowling, who loved Harry Potter. Her first Harry Potter book was rejected 12 times before it was finally published. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He lost hundreds of games and missed thousands of shots during his career. He once said, "I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeeded." These people succeeded because they understood that you can't let your failures define you. You have to let your failures teach you. You have to let them show you what to do differently next time. So if you get into trouble, so if you get into trouble, if you get into trouble, so if you get into trouble, you get into trouble. So So if you get into trouble,
That doesn't mean you're a troublemaker.
that doesn't mean you're a terrible troublemaker. That doesn't mean you're a troublemaker. That doesn't mean you are a troublemaker.
It means you need to try
It
harder
means you need to try hard
to act right.
to act
If you get
right.
a bad grade, that doesn't mean you're
If you get bad grade,
stupid. It just
that doesn't mean you're stupid.
means you need to spend more
It
time
just means you need to spend more time
studying.
studying.
No one's born being good
No one's born being good
at all things.
at all things. No one's born being good at all things. No one's born being good at all things. No one's born being good at all things. 네, 오늘 여기까지 하겠습니다.